came to do angelic channeling and how that came about.
Oh, that definitely took me by surprise as well.
Hmm.
Oh, I used to get this visual, like early on in my journey of like whenever I would get upset or feel scared, I would like get this visual of big, beautiful wings wrapping me and kind of like covering me. And it was just like such a particular visual. Time went on and I didn't really think anything of it. And then I started to have like experiences where like I had like an Archangel Michael card in my mirror when I was, first working with my very first mentor. And like it had fallen off and hit me in the face. And I'm like, what?
Thanks.
I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh. But then it was strange because then later that day I ended up going to see my mentor, and then she gave me an Archangel Michael Oracle deck. And then I'm like, okay, I see you, Michael. I
Yeah.
see you. So he was probably one of the first archangels that I ended up working with. And then like later on, so during my healing sessions, I realized that like very clearly, because angels communicate differently than like human spirits. They're very clear with their communication. It can be literal, full sentences. You know what I mean? They're
Hmm.
very easy to give out their name as well, I've noticed. So I started getting a bunch of different like names and like the connections of like, whatever a person was going through. I would like get this, like this is an archangel, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And then I would literally go in and give a message to a person, and later on I'm like, I'm gonna do more research, and then realize that a lot of people who had wrote about the archangels and like the different ones and stuff, that they correlated with the same healing messages that I would give people. So I'm like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But my very first, I think, experience with actually seeing an angel was I was praying the rosary, and I'm just like in bed, I'm in that deep meditation, and I don't know, there's something about like the rosary that really kind of puts me in a trance state. And all of a sudden I see this six-winged being right in front of me with like, it was like layers of golden and white light. And I just remember it having six wings. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I'm trying to articulate that. I had no idea because I had no prior information other than like, like Archangel Michael. I think that was the only angel that I was really familiar with, and
Hmm.
maybe Gabriel. But other than that, I was like, I wasn't really familiar with like the angelics and the work that they do. But I had seen this being. So the person that I was with at the time was telling me, they're like, oh, that's the seraphim. And I was like, what's the seraphim? And they're like, oh, it's the highest form of angel. And so we had like looked up pictures and all that. And I'm like, this is actually really crazy. Because they're like the highest, I guess you could say, like of the hierarchy of angels, they're like the
Hmm.
highest level of angel. That's the closest to God. And what I found was very interesting was how it coincided with like I was also praying the rosary and like dedicating that time to, prayer and to meditation and such. And I was like, wow, that's really incredible. So yeah, so that had happened. And then it was just like, during my healing sessions, I would like bring forth an angel. And then my clients would say, like, oh my God, this is so crazy. This angel came through it.
Yep. That's right.
and I mean, for that from firsthand. So
Hmm.
it's, yeah, and it's, and it's crazy when that happens, because it's just like when you go and you're putting those intentions out there, you're asking or the angel for assistance, you're working with that angel, and then for that angel to come through, I feel like is like, it's really mind-blowing.
Hmm.
And definitely, so then yeah, I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. And interestingly enough, I feel that in my healing sessions, my energy healing sessions, I feel like they're very like they keep and continue to evolve over time. With the more experience and such that I get. And I definitely feel that when the angelics come in for a healing, it is so intense. I feel like I receive a healing also myself,
Mm-hmm.
a very intense version of the healing. Cause it's like, when every time like you do a healing session, I do believe that the practitioner also receives the healing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because really what you're doing is you're help facilitating the other person to kind of help heal their own energy. But the angelics take that to a whole nother level where I feel like they come in just like extraterrestrials. Also, ETs are really beautiful beings to work with, and they perform profound healings as well. I've had them come into my sessions, and it's just like the different energies and levels of healing that they bring forward, and the feelings like where, I mean, when people who aren't even that spiritual are opening their eyes during the session because they feel the presence of somebody else in the room.
Yeah.
That's, like, whoa, there's a lot of energy that's happening. Because I have had, especially in my in-person sessions, my clients will tell me, like, they'll be like, I felt you on my right side, but then when I opened my eyes, you were all the way up here by my shoulder on my left side. And it was like, but I could have sworn you were touching my right thigh. And that's when I tell them, because they're like, and some of them are even afraid to tell me because they'll feel like they sound crazy. And they're like, I'm going to sound really crazy right now. And I'm like, can I just tell you that this is not crazy and this happens so often? I'm like, a lot of people experience this. And I really feel that it's their guides, it's the spirit team, it's the angelics, it's the ETs who come in and really help facilitate that healing as well and help channel the energy. And with the angelics, I have learned, and ETs, different, like, I have like my own symbols that I've gotten from the angelics that I've created that, like, I'll know which direction to put them in, what they mean. It's very different. So it's a very different way of healing, and definitely has opened my eyes to how, I guess, these beings work essentially. But yeah, it's I would definitely say that with their help and channeling energy in general, it just takes the healings to a more profound level.
Your support means the world to us. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please take a moment to like, comment, and share it with others who might find this content valuable.